So the purpose of this video is to help you navigate through Field Assist efficiently and to make sure you're getting everything filled out correctly. This is going to kind of help with the inspections as well, just to make sure you're getting everything in there that should be included in the inspection report. So the first thing we're going to do is go to set direction of the front of the house, which is east. So then I hit the camera icon, get an overview of the front, use that photo, hit the check mark, and then hit set. So then we go to elevation, start with the front there. I hit the camera icon up in the top right corner. There's no address near me, so if you don't have access to the address, write it out with a piece of chalk. And I label the elevation photos as I go through. So then we're still on the front elevation, so just hit the plus icon. Get a good look at everything. So we'll start from the left side of the front elevation and work our way across. Garage door looks good. Windows look good. And I take a lot of photos. The more you take, the better for the adjuster. But to each his own, you don't have to take as many as I do. All right, so we're done with the front elevation, so I hit the check mark and hit the right elevation. Then I hit the camera icon in the top right corner, get an overview, and I leave that first photo of the elevation labeled as right elevation because it's just an overview. Then I hit the plus icon, keep going. Take a look at the downspout, looks good. Garage door looks good. Downspout looks good. Windows look good. All right. So we got one more downspout on the right elevation. It looks good. All right, so hit the check mark, go to the back elevation, and get an overview of the back. And I leave that labeled as just back elevation because it's an overview. And then I'll work my way across the back elevation. So it looks like we got some mechanical damage to the siding, potentially. Then I'll hit the plus icon. Windows look good. So we got some more mechanical damage to the siding. Always want to get the AC unit. And obviously if there was damage to these items, you would go into that elevation, find the section for it, like a downspout window, and then put in the information. An overview of the deck. It looks good. And a lot of times if it's a stained deck or something like that, I'll get a close-up of it to show that there's no spatter or anything like that, but this one's painted, so. Hit the check mark, so we're good with the back elevation. Actually, you know what? I'll take one more at the back, just another overview from the other side here. And I'll just leave it labeled as back elevation. Hit the check mark, go to the left elevation. Get an overview, leave it labeled as left elevation because it's just an overview. Hit the plus button. Windows look good. Door looks good. I think we got some mechanical damage to the siding here. Potentially. And downspout looks good. Alright, so we're done with the elevations. Hit the check mark. And this is where I go into main roofing here. So as I'm taking the roof photos, at least from the top of the ladder, getting my layer shots, my pitch, and shingle gauge and all that, I just go to the main roofing, leave it in the all section, and hit the camera icon in the top right corner. So that way when I hit the camera icon, it leaves those few photos blank. So at the end, I'll have a few photos to label. Not much, because when I'm taking the roof slope photos, I do go into each individual slope and they're already labeled. So I try not to spend the least time as I can on my phone while I'm on the roof, because obviously it's dangerous. So, so we'll go to all in main roofing, hit the camera icon. Obviously you always want to get the overhang photo. Just use photo, hit the plus button to keep it going. Got 5-inch gutters. Hit the plus button. Look underneath there. You got one layer with felt, and you can see the drip edge right there. Also, you may even want to get a photo showing that there's starter on the eaves. Get your shingle gauge. Use photo. Now for my pitch gauge, I always go into the front section, kind of see what they're saying the pitch is, just so I can make sure my pitch gauge is accurate. So they're saying it's 412, so I'll go back into all, hit the camera icon, and let me get my pitch gauge here. Well, I didn't mean to take that, so retake. 412. Use photo. And like I said, we'll go back and we'll label those photos at the end. You want to get a rake shot, so there's some drip edge on the rakes. And show that there's starter on the rakes too. I'm going to be as detailed as you can. Alright, so we got the basic components, so now I'll go into the front section. I always try to do front, right, rear, left if I can. It's not always possible, but that's what I always try to do. So going to the CAD, and I see where I'm at. So G and D are my front slopes. So I'm going to start with the upper slope G. And for the purposes of this video, I've already done the roof inspection. I've already marked everything up, just to kind of streamline this video, so you guys aren't waiting on me to do the inspection. So everything's already chalked up. So what I would do is I would get up here, chalk everything up, then jump into this, front section, see what slope I'm on, G. So then I go in here and just click the first camera icon next to saying a slope. um, and then start getting some overviews. So I usually try to get one from each corner of the slope, and anywhere there's damage, kind of get an overview of that. And I'll go back after my overviews and get close-ups of the damage. But I get photos as I'm making my way down slope. And if you notice anything, you take a picture of it. But as I'm walking down slope, I just keep getting photos. Looks like we have a potential prior repair here. So we'll label that potential prior repair. And hit the plus button, keep it going. So now we'll get a close-up of our potential wind damage. And on this slope, we have 2 potentially wind damaged shingles. So at the end, like I said, I try to avoid typing as much as I can on the roof. So once I'm done, I'll skim back through these photos real quick. And like here, I would put just potential wind damage. And usually for the first photo of the slope, so the very first photo that says facet G front slope, I'll put 2 potential wind damaged shingles. So that way when the adjuster's looking at it, real quick they can see, okay, there's 2 potentially wind damaged shingles on this slope. So got the overviews of the slope. I already drew out a test square here. Well, actually, before I move forward, we'll put 2 in that front slope G, 2 potentially wind damaged shingles. Then I'll go into the hail damage section. I didn't find any hail damage. I'm gonna grab an overview of the test square. You know, a couple overviews of the test square doesn't hurt. Like I said, the more photos, the better. So a couple overviews. And I try to get at least 3 corners of the test square. Alright. And then go into, if you notice any kind of conditions on the roof, so shingle condition. I noticed some cracking up here. So let me find a spot with the cracking. And sometimes it's hard to see the cracking in the photos, but there's a little bit of thermal cracking here. That labels itself, front slope cracking. Now, since we're on the front slope, there's a chimney on this front slope. So I'm going to skim over to the chimney flashing section. I'm going to go with a medium chimney flashing, because there's flashing at the top and at the bottom, and we'll get there in a second. It's just a wind claim, but we're instructed to do wind hail inspection. So I chalk as many things as I can on the roof. I don't chalk a whole lot on the ground unless I see dents or dings, because I don't want to put blue chalk all over somebody's home. A little deterioration. Alright, so we got a chimney cover here. It's not damaged, so wait, the camera icon. Get that. Alright, so we're done with the front slope. So we're going to go back into the main roofing section here. View CAD. I'm going to continue on that back slope F. So back. I'm going to go here to F. And 2, 4, 6. So I got 6 damaged shingles on this slope. So I'm going to put 6 in and start getting some overviews. And like I said, usually the first photo of the slope, real quick, I'll put 6 potentially wind damaged shingles, and then hit the plus icon, keep going. Keep going. said, I grab photos as I'm moving down slope. All right, so we got the overviews, we got the potential wind damage. Now we'll go into the hail damage section. Didn't find anything. Get an overview of the test square. Test square overview. And then, like I said, I always try to get 3 close-ups. Sometimes I get all 4 corners. Now, what kind of conditions did we notice back here? I noticed some cracking. And sometimes this logs me out. So if you take a picture and you look back down the screen, it's logged out, it usually means it didn't save that photo. So I'm gonna have to retake that photo. Back in the main roofing, we were on the back. We were on slope F. And we didn't get the cracking photo. Now, noticed here on slope F, got some blistering. We'll snap a picture of that, and you can label this later when you get off the roof, or real quick, potential blistering. Okay, so on this back slope, we have a pipe. I'm gonna go to back, pipe, it's a plastic, not damaged. Get a close-up of it, and an overview of it. And for that photo label, I'll put potential deterioration later once I get off the roof. So we got the upper front, we got the upper back. Let's go back in the main roofing section. I'm just gonna grab an overview of the ridge cap. Look straight down at the cap. And a photo showing that there's shingle over ridge vent. And that's it for the upper slopes, so we'll go and do the lower slopes now.